That's smart. Good evening, everybody. Veritas, this is Erin McCole Cupp, author of the Jane E. Friendless Orphan, a memoir series, as well as co-editor of the Image and Likeness short literature reflective of the theology of the body. I am also a lay Dominican, and actually, if you're here, you probably know that already. But anyway, I am really, really blessed to know some very special women of the Lord who are holding a very special event here in their cloister, well, not in their cloister, but near their cloister, attached to their cloister. On November 26th, the Cloistered Dominican Nuns of the Perpetual Rosary, who are very gracious to host our lay Dominican chapter, they're hosting a day of discernment. And in anticipation of that day, on November 26th, they have agreed to appear on Facebook Live. So you'll get to ask the nuns some questions about what it's like to live in the cloister. So without any further ado, I'm going to turn the camera on the nuns here, and you can ask them some questions, or I will be asking them some questions, and you can leave some comments, and I can pass those along to the sisters so that you can give them some encouragement in their vocation. So here we go. Hi, sisters. Hi. Everybody say hello. Hi, excellent. So we've got the Sacred Heart back there. So I'd like to introduce, let's go first. Well, we'll go from left to right. If you could introduce yourself, just all you have to do is say your name. Yes, please. I'm sorry. I should be.
I'm Sister Maria Joseph.
Okay.
Sacred Heart.
Of the Sacred Heart. Oh, yes, if you'd like to give your whole religious name, that would be pretty awesome. Okay, sister?
Sister Martin Marie of the Eucharist.
Sister Martin Marie of the Eucharist.
Sister Mary Pius of the Eucharist.
Sister Mary Pius of the Eucharist.
Sister Mary Albert of the Immaculate Heart.
Sister Mary Albert of the Immaculate Heart.
Sister Mary Veronica of Jesus.
Sister Mary Veronica of Jesus. And last but not least,
Sister Faustina Marie of the Good Shepherd.
Sister Faustina Marie of the Good Shepherd. Lovely names, lovely ladies. Well, what I'd like to do is see if you could talk to us a little bit about what drew you to the religious life, which was, I'm sure, just a few short years ago, right?
Yes, right.
Who would like to go first? Raise your hand and I'll
I'll
okay.
go first.
Thank you, Mother.
Okay, well, what drew me is when I was a young child, I used to attend the Stations of the Cross, and those prayers were by Saint Alphonsus. They were always repeated at the end. Granted, I may love thee always. So it was, I was impressed by the love of Jesus and his passion, and it was my desire to return that love. Mm-hmm. And what impressed me also was Saint Veronica, her active deed. So I took her name.
Oh,
so that's the
beautiful.
story of my whole life.
So it all started with the Stations of the Cross.
That's right.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
I love that. Anybody else? Okay, Sister Christina.
I was came from a very spiritual family, and we did a lot of things, a lot of spiritual stuff. We did the Rosary on May and October, and when I was small, at 4 years old, I went to my parents, Mommy and Daddy, I want to be a nun when I grow up. And did it leave me? It never left me.
What was their reaction?
They just smiled.
Okay.
They really smiled. They didn't say anything. They just,
Sure, honey.
never left since.
Oh, that's so sweet. All right, awesome. Would anyone else? I think we can.
I was called, I felt that I was called when I was preparing for my first communion, so I was 6 years old. And that never left me either. And so the Eucharist was my first love.
Oh, that is how Jesus started that relationship
Yes.
in that way. That's beautiful. Well, would anybody like to talk about? There you go. Next, I'd like to ask the sisters what drew them specifically to choose or to be drawn to the cloistered life rather than a religious vocation outside of a monastery. So is anybody who's chomping at the bit to?
I came here on retreat in 1958. I was a junior in high school, and there were 5 girls and then 3 chaperone women from the parish. And I came on the retreat, and it was the last day here. And I came over to make a visit by myself before we came to see the sisters in the parlor. And I knelt up by the communion railing, and I said, "Dear Lord," I said, "where do you want me? because I had the desire to be religious since 5th grade, but it was an off and on thing. And I heard this inner voice say to me, Margaret, this is where I want you, where they pray my mother's rosary.
Oh,
And of course,
wow.
the tears came down my cheek, and that was when I decided that I'd be coming here with my spiritual director's help and everything else. So
Oh my goodness, I'm going to cry. That's
I was
beautiful.
17 years old when I entered.
Okay.
1959.
So you were on retreat here when you were 16?
I was 16 when
16,
I came on
okay,
retreat,
and then
I
you
was on
joined.
retreat. I went in somebody else's place.
Okay. Oh, wow.
We
So
had a football game, and the other girls canceled out, and I went in somebody else's.
you were really,
So I went and
God really made some arrangements to get you here, didn't he? He went to lengths.
That's how it started.
Works in mysterious ways.
Indeed. Well, that's beautiful. Would anybody else like to talk about your,
Well, I'm a later vocation. I had worked for everything that I needed in the material world, but there was a big void there. I said, if the Lord doesn't bring anyone into my life on a one-to-one basis, then he must want me for something else. And I was looking for the truth and the real meaning of things, and a life of prayer and study, and you can get it in the contemplative life, and so here I am.
that's beautiful.
I came from an active community.
Oh, did you? I did not know that. Okay.
And we worked with special needs children, and I needed my vocation more than anything. I didn't want to leave the children. I didn't want to do any of that, but I didn't want to be an employee and half employee and half religious. I wanted to be a whole religious, and I wanted to be.
Oh, okay.
And I wanted to be more, with the community and prayer and recreation and study and all that. And, because we really didn't have the time to really fulfill our religious life because we were 24/7 with the children.
Okay. So this is,
And then after 18 years being in an active community, I transferred here, and then I've been here 23 years.
okay. Probably not transferring out anytime soon then, I guess. No. Okay. Anybody else like to talk about the call specifically to the?
Okay. Cloistered life. I had thought about an active congregation, but I took a good look at what was going on with some of them at that time. There were changes going on. I also took a good look at myself, and I said, that wasn't for me. And I thought I was better suited for the contemplative life because there was a guarantee of a prayer life. The regular schedule of a prayer life, the discipline of the life. There is silence here, which I enjoyed anyway, as well as the study. And so I looked into that also, especially at this monastery's devotion to the Rosary as well. So it was a matter of the contemplative life.
Quick note for those who are joining us. These are the Dominican Sisters of the Perpetual Rosary, in case you hadn't already read, which means they have a particular charism to be praying the Rosary basically always in some fashion. So would anybody else like to, before we move on to the next question, anybody else?
The Rosary. We are Dominican Sisters of the Perpetual Rosary, and initially, and that still is our object, to have the Rosary 24 hours, day and night. But we had to, of course, cut down on that because of our numbers. So in the event we have fuller numbers, we would have the Perpetual Rosary back. And hopefully your Blessed Mother would bring that about for us.
Please God.
Yeah.
One extra thing is, I believed in the power of prayer. And I believe you could help more people, reach more people through prayer than you could by certain activity as well.
Okay. That's another important perspective.
That's also how I felt when I was just a young girl. I didn't want to teach, but I was looking for an order with a white habit. For some reason, I was attracted to having a white habit.
Okay.
And finally met Dominicans come to our parish, and I got brave enough and finally asked them. I said, "Do you have any sisters with them?" Well, this father Richard Boulay, he knew the prioress here at this monastery, and he said, well, what about the cloister? And I said, well, that's only Carmelites. He says, no.
Oh, right.
And I did say I didn't want to teach. And, but I felt at that age that, like Sister said, the power of prayer, you could reach, the whole world was yours to pray for. You know, otherwise I was thinking of helping, like Sister, the disabled,
Needy people.
Right.
and I felt this way I could reach more.
You reach more of the needy people, even the people who don't recognize their own need.
Right.
So that's,
Well, you know, St. Therese is a patroness of missionaries, and she's a Cloistered nun.
yep.
And she would say she traveled on her knees, basically. That's
Yeah.
what we do, we travel on our knees praying for everyone.
Oh, that's
Well,
awesome.
This priest had given me a pamphlet, and it said Dominican Sisters of Perpetual Rosary. I said, that's it.
So, like, it just clicked.
Oh, it did,
Yeah.
yeah. And our family had said the family rosary, so the rosary was another connection with besides
Yes. See,
the
most of us
Eucharist
didn't
and
have
the
that.
rosary.
Yeah.
Right.
We had family rosary in our day, you know, we were brought up in the Catholic era.
Right. Well, some of us are bringing it back. We do
Yeah.
family rosary. By the way, my family, I think, might be watching soon, so
Okay.
we'll, oops, yeah. We'll be praying the rosary when Mommy gets home tonight. Okay. Any,
Sister Martin Marie is our convert
A lot
also.
of the converts.
oh, were you?
I'm an adult convert, so, you know, I wasn't getting any encouragement outside for that, but there was just something that was pulling me. I said, I have to pursue this to find out whether this is really what's going on.
Right.
She really searched for truth. Dominicans, you know,
That's-
truth, that's very tough.
You know what? I've seen that happen over and over again, that the people who are searching for truth, they always
Find it.
end up Catholic. I mean, I'm so sorry, but it's true.
Tradition. I wanted to pray the rosary, I wanted a prayer and study, and the time to do that, and it was like having a degree in religion, because you're on the job working for it at the same time. So I knew what the other side was like, but this is what I wanted. You know, as soon as it's like meeting the right person, when nobody has to tell you whether it's
Yes,
right
right.
or not, you know it.
Yeah,
And it won't leave you until you follow it out.
that's right. It will keep nagging at you.
The Lord is the hound of heaven, remember?
That's right. Absolutely. The next question. What kind of a woman do you think would make a good Dominican nun of the Perpetual Rosary, specifically to this charism? What are we thinking?
Well, a prayer for a woman, for one thing. Balance in her personality, you know.
What does balance and
Well, sort
personality
of
mean?
somewhere between introvert and extrovert. Maybe
You know,
both.
I found that's like so true of the Dominicans. We have this like balance between nobody's like a pure introvert. Well, there are a few, like, you know, Thomas Aquinas, whatever, but you know, there's that balance, but he was still a teacher. You know, there's that balance between the two. So, yeah,
They have to be mature.
okay. Mature in the sense of, like, able to make good decisions.
Yes.
Okay, okay.
And be able to adjust to this life. It's a disciplined life
Mm.
with the same people all the time.
Mm. Which, like any family, has its challenges.
That's right. You have your ups and your downs.
That's right.
You have your disagreements,
And you have to
but you
consider-
still love each other
and you have to consider the enclosure. Not everybody can take the enclosure.
over the silence.
Okay, that's fair. So, Sister Christina, you look like you're about, no, okay. I guess the next question is, what are some things women who are going through the discernment process, thinking about, you know, is a religious vocation, a cloistered religious vocation, a consecrated life, is that where God is calling me? What can they look forward to when they meet you on November 26th?
Well, they're going to meet normal women, I hope. I mean, we're, you know.
There's a joy.
We're not,
We're a
we're
happy
not
bunch.
sophisticated. What you see is what you get, kind
Yeah,
of thing.
that's one of the pictures I have out there says, as a picture of you ladies saying, and it says, meet these smiling faces. Because
Yeah.
there's just joy that just bubbles out from here that is unlike anything else. And I hope people come to take
We have more
advantage
of
of
a
that.
family atmosphere, actually. It's
true.
not as formal as you would find in other places.
Okay, good.
A lot of the
priests, our Dominican fathers that come, they say that they see a real joy here radiates among the sisters.
Also, people come to our chapel, say they feel peace there, real peace.
Okay, yeah, definitely. I felt that myself. I know for sure. All right. Anything else you'd like to add or share with the World Wide Web, so to speak? Share with people out in Facebook land.
Well, this coming year is the centennial of Our Lady of Fatima.
Mm,
And she's been promoting and begging us to pray for the rosary, pray for peace for the world. And only prayer can help people out there. Yes, conversion, of the world. Only prayer can bring it about, and this is what we're doing.
Right, and we never know who Our Lady of Fatima is praying for to come here
Oh, that's
to join this
Whoever she
beautiful
brings, we'll
community.
accept.
And when we pray the rosary, God's power is in our hands.
That's right, yeah.
Oh,
Rosary is
that's a
powerful
really
for
very
our
powerful way of
people.
looking at it too.
That's why
God's
it's
power is in
in-
our hands, like physically in our hands. It's beautiful.
And prayer is at the center of every Christian life. And as the little flower used to say, she found her place in the church, and that's at the heart of the church by her prayer. And this is where we're at, because that's what prayer is, at the heart of the church.
Right, and this is a place where we can really see the power of prayer, that it brings people together and that it is effective. I mean, in our culture anymore, prayer is sort of poo-pooed, for lack of a better term, because it's not something concrete, because everybody's looking for the concrete.
One of the poets said that more things are wrought by prayer than by anything else, really. But anyway, prayer, it's a hidden power, actually.
It is.
Yeah.
We had the family rosary in my home on
Yeah.
October and May, and my dad would sit down on your knees. The 5 kids and my mother and my grandmother.
The problem is also people are too busy, if you want to say too busy, they've got time for just about everything else but God and prayer.
Yeah, if you're too busy to pray, you're too busy.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So, all right. Any last words for? All right. Well, thank you
Come
very
and
much.
see.
Oh, come and see. Amen. Yes.
See.
Come and see. Well, I do want to thank our sisters here for coming out tonight. Thank you so much for taking the time and visiting with us in your parlor. And thank you, everybody who's watching the video this evening. I do encourage you to check out my blog, erinmccollcup.com. I have more information about how to register for the Day of Discernment on November 26th. It's the Saturday after Thanksgiving here in the U.S. Don't delay. The response date requested is November 18th. Oh, one of my editors just checked in. Ellen, hi. Ellen Gable from Full Quiver Publishing just said, thank you, sisters. Okay, so where was I? Yes.
22nd.
We've extended the response date. It was tomorrow, November 18th, Friday, but the sisters have very generously extended that to November 22nd. Pardon me. So there's information on my blog about how to register for this event. The event is free, but registration is required. So if you have any other questions for me or for the sisters, maybe even I can forward those along for you. So thank you all, and let's have thank you for the sisters, and say good night.
Good night.
Thank you, sisters.
God bless.
Veritas.
Very